my work on NSF project during my first postdoc at Florida State University. It was about this World Trade Center crash and so on. So this is an example from a turbine of airplane. Then you have the evolution of a ship. So for all these cases, you need to solve the exact problem. Either 95% correctly, or it's going to be very bad for you, and for if you are working for the industry, it's also really very bad. Okay? So for all these cases, you have only two choices. Is either to adapt the algebra. What I'm calling here algebra is software, hardware, and methods to the case. So it means that you have to build something to solve the problem, right? Or the other case, and actually this is very expensive because you need a lot of money and time. The other case is to adapt the problem to the material that you have, and this is what modélisation is doing. So it's just reducing the complexity in such a way that you can solve the problem A even with a laptop. Okay, and you can, so in modélisation we can deal between quality and cost, either a priori or a posteriori. So the outline of my talk for today is, first I'm going to present you the big picture of the problem, then I will give you some motivating examples, review the famous methods that we have in the literature. First I will start by what we call SVD, so I will define what is SVD, trial approximation method. I will present you some work that I did during my PhD by combining these two things. Then I will present you something that is quite new in the math literature. I created the name switch hybrid dynamic system, so you will see what is this. I started working on this in the beginning of 2009, and I will conclude by presenting you different software that you can use, and one numeric example and some reference. Please stop me if you have any questions. That's no problem for me. And if I'm speaking too fast, please let me know. So first, the big picture. Usually, when you would like to deal with a real-life problem, what you receive is some data. So you don't receive the equations. You receive some data, and this data are just the relationship between some input and output, right? So from this, you construct by identification your model, right? It's going to be either PDEs or ODEs. At the end of the day, you have ODEs because you cannot work directly on PDEs. So you have to do some discretization either by finite element method, or finite volume, or finite differences. So you have a large number of ODEs, right? So the only way to do simulation or control of this ODE is by simplifying using modélisation. Okay? So you need to know that for physical systems, the dynamic is very important. So it means that it's not sufficient to know what is the behavior compared to one input. So the output, we use the output to say if the reduced model is good, but we need to know what is the internal state. It's really very important. Sorry. So why? So this is what we're giving to undergraduate students to attract them to do PhD students with us, PhD projects with us. So you should be interested in modélisation, either if you have an internal complex dynamic system and you want to use it by preserving input-output behavior, or you would like to extend the techniques that you have to some complicated situations, and especially if you are running something like Monte Carlo and you would like to tune some parameters, so it means that you have to do a lot of time-based iterations, then modélisation is good for you because you can make your simulations very fast. Just very simple example. Suppose that you have two equations, x1, x2, and you have the output. U is the input, y is the output. So you can see very easily, if you put x equal to x1 plus x2, then you can simplify this system to this one, right? But once you start working on this, you are losing what is x1 and what is x2. So from this problem, from this system, you will have x, but you will not have explicitly x1 and x2. So you need something else to add